Hello friends, how are you all? This is also one of the experience of life that when a chef gets a card when he's on duty, he read only about few things. What is the date of the function? What is the venue of the function? What is the menu of the function? What is the timing of the function? Because he has to take care of the three big factors, which include the food and the presentation of food. Those three factors are uh, the first type of a food that he has to serve is that is going to be made in the kitchen and going to be served by the stewards on their servers. One. The second type of the food that is going to be made in the kitchen and it's going to be kept in the chefing dishes and on the buffet counter. And the third is going to be the live food, where right on the venue itself the food has to be cooked. So accordingly he has to plan the function. So that is a job when it comes to these are the few things that come to a chef's mind. And then of course what he has to order, what is the menu, what has to order, when he has to order his veg, when he has to order his non-veg and dairy products and so on. That's when he's on duty. Now, when he's off duty and he gets the same card, same wedding, and he's invited to come and attend the wedding, that is when the fun starts. Because what the chef is going to look at, he will try and figure out what type of food is being served, because it is mentioned in the card that it is going to be, for example, mini dham in Himachal Pradesh or a dham in Himachal Pradesh, or is going to be, let's say, in Punjab and Jammu region also. Is going to be again kacha khana or pakka khana, that is how it is known as kacha khana and pakka khana. So he goes into that, and believe me, some of the dishes that are made in dham, mini dham and kacha khana and so on, they are remarkable. They are remarkable beyond description. So friends, today for a change, I am going to introduce to you one such dish that is made in mini dham, that is made in dham, that is made in kacha khana, that is made in Punjab, it is made in Himachal, it is made in Jammu region, that is known as mani. In other words, mani is a dish that is made on all auspicious functions of North India. Whether it is a wedding, whether it is let's say fest for a birth of a child, whether it is in the temple, whether it is a festival or any festive occasion, whole food of North India, and especially Punjabi speaking areas, which is Punjab, Himachal, Jammu region, and a part of Haryana also, you can say, is one of the backbone dishes of North India. Mani is such a dish. It is very, very, very rich in vitamin C. It's sour. It's very sour in taste. Goes extremely well when paired with chana dal and with plain rice. So that is how it is basically served. Now, how is this mani made? There are three versions of making mani. The first version is where you use only tamarind. The basic ingredient there is tamarind and gram flour. The second version is where you are using mango. And the third version is where you are going to be using pumpkin, kaddu, petha. Well friends, today I am going to show you how to make mani, this famous dish called mani, using tamarind. So come, let's go into the kitchen and I'm going to show you how it is done. Come, please follow me.
This is step number 1, friends. We take a bowl and we take warm water, and to the bowl we add tamarind, around minimum of 150 grams to anything upwards according to the degree of sourness that you want in your mani. Now immerse the tamarind in water for about 10-15 minutes. When it starts to dissolve, now put it in a sieve. Now in the sieve, you can use a sieve, you can use a muslin cloth and sieve the pulp, the seeds from the tamarind water. Okay, the idea is we will be using tamarind water, and to do this, allow it to sieve through, because tamarind, there are seeds in it. In the pulp there are seeds, there are the hard fibers, then there are sand particles, there are mud particles, there are a lot of impurities in the sieve, with the pulp. Now see, this is the water that we will be using. This is tamarind water, and I'll tell you how to use it also. Now we take a spoon and we run the spoon through the pulp, the seeds and all, so that the water starts separating. Friends, do you hear that tick 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 tick, that metallic sound coming? That is the sound this is the whole trick here now. That is the sound of the sand particles hitting the spoon. Now we continue this process till the time this noise does not stop, but it will not stop in step 1. After this is complete and all the water, tamarind water, has filtered through, we will repeat the sieving of this water again at least 3 or 4 times. Next we take a bowl, and to this we add about 80 grams or 4 tablespoons of gram flour or besan. And once done, what we will do is that we will take hot water and slowly add hot water little by little and mix the water so that the gram flour comes out like a paste. Now the water is to be added very slowly, otherwise if we drop the entire water, all the water together, lumps will form, and these lumps then will not dissolve once we are cooking, and they will taste very bad in the mani. So we take this process very slowly, mixing thoroughly, ensuring that there is no lump, and we will now see, it is a thick paste. Now we will thin it down further. We add more hot water to it so that it should become like a slurry. It should be a running slurry. It should not be a thick paste. So I can still feel some lumps in it, which I am mashing with the spoon, with the serving spoon. So once it is done, remember the tamarind paste, we'll add this to the tamarind water, and once added to the tamarind water, we are going to mix the two well. It has to be stirred so that it mixes really well with the tamarind. Once done, what we will do is that we will let it rest aside for about till the time we don't take the next process. We are not ready for the next process. While this is resting, now what we do is we take gram flour, that is about 60 to 70 grams, and a big bowl in which we are going to mix gram flour with hot water. Now this process is basically to make pakodis. Now the measurement of gram flour that I have given you, that is about 60 grams or so, is not hard and fast. You can add more depending upon the amount of pakodis you want in your mani. Okay, now again, as I said, we'll add water little by little again to avoid lumps, because if lumps are formed, they will not fry well and they're going to taste very they're going to taste horrible. So to avoid forming of lumps, we add hot water slowly, slowly and slowly, stirring, mixing and grinding, really grinding hard with the spoon so that no lumps are there, and in case there are any, we'll break them. Even gram flour is added slowly by slowly. Okay, it is advisable not to add them together and at one go. It should be slow and let the warm water react with the gram flour. That is the best way. That is also known as the tempering of the flour. So tempering of the flour, sorry. So that would be ideal. And look, the color will change, the consistency will change, and again mix well. As I said, mix very well, ensure that there are no lumps, and allow the water to react with the gram flour. Look, it has gone a little white. That exactly is the idea. And now once this thing is done, let me show you. Now this is salt number 1 as per as your taste, and I'm using rock salt as usual, and paprika or red chili powder, that is about half a spoon. You can vary it. And cumin powder is again about half a tablespoon, and coriander powder is again about half a tablespoon. But you can always vary all these according to the taste that you want. That is the salt, the red chili powder, and the cumin and the coriander powder can be varied according to your taste. So now we add all these, and again one by one we'll add, and again we will go back to mixing it. As I said, quantity varies according to the taste that you want. Generally people do not add these spices to pakodis, and then what happens is that the pakodis, when they are made, they are basically tasteless. They taste more of gram flour, and sometimes even become not exactly oily, but they can taste of oil. So the best is that you add these. That is the trick here. You add these spices and leave the paste for some time. Leave this for some time, let's say about 5 minutes, and in the 5 or 10 minutes, in the meantime add enough oil to a skillet or a pan or a kadai, and allow it to come to the temperature where we can fry the pakodis at ease. So once the oil has been added and our pakodis batter is at rest, so, and the oil heats, and again, as I told you, theory of frying, that it has to be heated, and to check whether the oil is heated or not. Look, the pakodi, that little bit of batter is dropped in the oil, which tells us exactly whether it is hot or not. Now look, the oil is not hot. So that is a clear indicator. The oil is not yet hot. Look. And now it is coming to the right temperature. Still not there yet, but now it is done. See, from the color, the acid is done. And now the time is to drop the flame, number 1, and to drop the batter and make pakodis. And this is how you drop it. There is no hard and fast rule that it should be done through a sieve like halwais would do it. We can do that also, but then you will get small balls. So that is not what is wanted. We are basically looking for uneven pakodis of uneven weight, uneven size, uneven shape. That adds to the glamour, the look, and the veracity of the dish when it is presented. So look at that. Good, isn't it? And keep an eye on the oil also, by the way. It is going to be as clear as ever till the end of frying. And by the way, I did not mention, you can use any oil that you wish. I am using mustard. If we were in Amritsar also, we would be using desi ghee. So the choice of oil is up to you, but I will say please use mustard or desi ghee. I will not advocate any other oil. So because Punjab is basically on either desi ghee or mustard oil, and North India, Himachal and parts of Jammu and all also are on mustard oil. So we continue with this process, and Once the pakodis, look at this, they're doing beautiful, isn't it? And slowly they will change color. There we are. But once more, not exactly done as yet. Let them get a little more brown. Let them get a little more cooked. They should be golden brown in color, bright golden brown in color. I'll show you, not to worry. And once done, only then we remove them. And the temperature, of course, if you remember, we come down to 3/4. Not the flame is not on full, so that is how the temperature is maintained in the oil. There we are, isn't it? Beautiful, crisp. That is the idea. Pakodi is done, and we repeat till the time the batter is not finished and till all the batter is utilized and pakodi is made. And now for the last and final step, friend. Remember the slurry? Now, the spices here are fenugreek powder, that is 1 tablespoon. Red chilies or paprika, that is 1 tablespoon. Rock salt again, or pink salt, or any natural salt according to your taste, and that is as per as your taste, but I have taken 1 tablespoon. Turmeric powder, that is again 1 tablespoon. Coriander powder, that is again 1 tablespoon. Cumin seed, that is 1 tablespoon. And jaggery, again I have taken 1 tablespoon. But jaggery, now all these except turmeric, you can vary according to your taste. You can increase them or decrease them, that is up to you, including jaggery. Now the idea is to balance jaggery for sweetness and the rest for the sourness and the spiciness of the money. So you all can vary according to the taste that you want, and accordingly you can add these spices. Okay, once added, what we do is now we add the oil. The oil, remember, was already heated because we had made these pakodis there. Now we add fenugreek seed here, and as they sputter, we will add our tamarind and gram flour mix to this oil, that is, and there. Now when this has been added, add complete. Okay, it is not to be done in stages. You have to add complete and slowly stir, because it is your gram flour powder that can stick to the skillet or your pan or your kadai. Now you can add more water, or you can add more water if you feel that the quantity is less, according to you wish to make. Now I am making this for 4 people, 4 adults basically. There we are. Now remember those spices I told you, that is turmeric and so on. Now all those spices, again I'll repeat them: fenugreek seeds, fenugreek powder, red chilies or paprika, salt, turmeric powder, coriander powder, and jaggery. They all have to be added down and mix well, stir well, mix well, so that none of them settle to the bottom of your skillet or bottom of the pan, and it should be, it should get a constant heat. It should get cooked constantly and consistently. Look, the color has started to change. Now this is the fantastic part of this dish called mani. Slowly as we stir, the jaggery is going to caramelize a bit, and then comes out that real beautiful rich color, the tempting color. And again, I felt that the water is a little short, so I added a little more hot water. So whenever I am adding water, I am not adding cold water to it. Remember, I am adding hot water, because moment you add cold water, you are bringing down the temperature of your already cooked dish also, by the way, or semi-cooked dish. You are bringing down the temperature. So never do that. Always add water that is hot or at least warm, so that the temperature does not get disturbed. Now look at this. After some time, this is the shape that, this is the look, this is the shape that mani is going to be. And when it is like this, is going to boil. Remember, just a little short of boiling, add all your pakodis to it. This is the right time to add the pakodis, because pakodis, remember, are already crisp, but a little bit of mani is going to penetrate inside also. So when you eat this dish, you're going to have that sweet and sour taste in the pakodi also, crispy pakodi that is, and even when you serve it, it's going to remain crispy. And this dish is basically sweet and sour. Or you can easily say that it is the Indian or the North Indian sweet and sour dish for a change. Now I'll show you the final look. There we are. The jaggery is caramelized, mani is ready, and let's go. Let's serve. So friends, this is the classical dish from North India, Punjab, Himachal and Jammu region, mani. This classical dish is served, as I said, in the temples, in langars. It is served in all auspicious occasions, family occasions, weddings, childbirth, etc. It is served with, as I said, rice, chana dal. And here I have shown you another classical dish from Punjab, that is the mutta pyaz salad. So I'll be giving you the recipe of that also very shortly. And till the time, friends, till the next video, do enjoy this dish, do make it, do enjoy it, do treat your friends with it, do tell everybody about it, do give me a feedback also. Until the time we meet again with another recipe, it's thanks from Chef Raj. Bye, have a nice time.